Helmer, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. In European energy policy, we talk about a triangle of three objectives. We want our policy to be sustainable, we want energy security, and we want affordability to support competitiveness. And yet we behave as though the only thing that mattered was sustainability, and I put that in quotation marks, and we ignore the issues of competitiveness and affordability, we ignore the issue of security of supply, we put all our effort into eye-wateringly expensive renewables, and yet they do not deliver results. Look at Germany, where the spending on renewables has been quite extraordinary, and yet they are currently building 25 new coal-fired power stations and emissions are increasing. Europe has to compete in the world against other economic areas. America, as we've discussed, has cheap shale gas and is enjoying an industrial renaissance. India, China, South America are using coal and have cheap energy and are highly competitive. We have chosen to give ourselves, in effect, the most expensive energy in the world, and then we wonder why we are not competitive. We are forcing businesses out of Europe entirely to other jurisdictions, generally with lower environmental standards. We are exporting industry, we're exporting investment, we are exporting jobs, we are also exporting emissions. Because while we in Europe congratulate ourselves that our emissions in Europe are reasonably well contained, the fact is that the emissions for which European citizens are responsible, if you include the emissions associated with imported consumer and other products, are actually going up massively. Europe is responsible for around 12% of global emissions from Europe, but about 25% of global emissions in terms of what we consume. It is becoming increasingly clear that our massive expenditure and subsidies for renewable technologies simply cannot be justified in economic terms. Let's face it, renewables are not economically sustainable, and indeed I would suggest to colleagues that the theory of anthropogenic climate change is also no longer sustainable.
Grazie. La parola